A push.
I'm Chris Poole with the first, last, and only episode of Quick Lessons World History. I'm here with Running Jackalope, a real, legitimate Native American.
Aren't you one of those Europeans?
I'm gonna run for my life now. Well, that's it for immigration to the United States from 600 to 1790.
Let's see how they like things getting taken from them. Welcome to the newly liberated Quick Lessons U.S. History. I am your host, Running Jackalope, and today we're going to teach history how it actually happened. Play the intro! Well, now that that's over, I'm having a sudden, strong, and uncontrollable urge to only talk about things between 1870 and 1879. So we'll start there. We'll start with the Battle of Little Bighorn, aka Custer's Last Stand. Those were the times. We finally defeated those stupid Americans and put them in their place. Finally, the Native Americans had pushed back their American oppressors. Finally!
Get off these! There's gold in these hills!
Can I help you?
Get off! Shoot! Shoot, you angel! There's gold in these hills! Shoot! Get off the Black Hills! Shoot! Get off! Get off! Is this one of those new fancy educations that kids are talking about these days? The 1870s are getting better by the minute. I remember back when only the rich kids got to go to school, but now everyone can. Sure glad I got my doctorate in economics while I could. Well, you see, I know a thing or two about the 1870s, so I'm sure I could contribute to this discussion. I remember it like it was yesterday. I had hopped on that new railroad, the Transcontinental Railroad, that had just been joined together at Podamery Point in 1869. That symbolized the prevalence of having a railroad economy in America. See, the railroads were government financed, and they helped expand industries like the steel industry run by Carnegie. The railroads remind me of my days when I was a cattle rancher. Oh, I was the darndest cowboy you'd ever did see. I ran hundreds of cattle up through Texas to the railroads across middle America. You know, a lot of cultures did arise from the cowboys. You know, they're popularized as heroes in the dime novels. I have a friend who might know a lot about that. They say he's a realist, but I don't know what that means. Here, come with me. So, here we are, where my friend Chris, spelled K-R-I-S, works. He works as like a teacher or something, and it's at a place called a college. Not that I know anything about that, though.
Oh, Dr. Renham, my old friend. What can I do for you?
Well, you see, I'm doing this next episode for something, so can you talk about the culture of the 1870s?
I would love to, old sport. I happen to be an American realist. I've written several books on how bad those factories are. I'm not very original, though. Tons of people are doing this. You know, lots of people are also writing political satire and dime novels, too. There's this guy I know, Mark Twain. He writes some really cool stuff. Or, what was this for again? Huh? You! I heard what you did to my brother-in-laws! You killed them! You murderer! I'll get you for that! I get you cornered, Jack!
Wait!
Nowhere to run!
Wait, this is all a misunderstanding. I didn't kill anyone.
You didn't?
No, I just chased them off the set.
So they're still out there?
Probably, I don't know.
I will make it my mission to find my brother-in-laws. I will search to the ends of the earth and...
Before you do that, can we just finish this episode?
Sure, I guess I could share some knowledge on the 1870s. So, where do I start? Technology is cool, I guess, so let's start there. There were many technological advances during this time, including blue jeans and the practical telephone, but no doubt the invention of the decade has to be the can opener. You know, the process of canning was invented almost 100 years prior, but let's just say the storage was a little bit more permanent back in the day. I'm Chad, here with an exclusive interview with Thomas Edison. Chad, is that you? It sure is. I'm here with Edison. That's utterly convenient, considering I was just about to announce him Man of the Decade. He sure was. So, Tom, tell us a little bit about yourself. What? Oh, he's a little hard of hearing. Let's try that again. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Tom!
Oh, why didn't you say so the first time? I'm Thomas Edison, and I'm a great inventor and... Am I being loud? Sorry, I'm a bit hard of hearing.
Yeah, we know.
What? Oh, never mind. Anyway, I'm Thomas Edison, and I'm a great inventor, and I've invented things like the light bulb and the phonograph, and I'm currently working on harnessing and distributing the power of electricity.
But didn't Tesla... Well, there you have it. Thomas Edison, the Man of the Decade. Back to you, Chris. Thanks, Chad, for that surprising interview. Speaking of Man of the Decade, we have a Song of the Decade, too. It's known by many names, including In the Pines and Black Girl. Historians don't really know when it originated, but they believe it's somewhere in the 1870s. And now, a reading of the song. Black girl, don't lie to me. Where did you stay last night? I stayed in the pines where the sun never shines, and shivered when the cold wind blows. This song was also covered by Leadbelly, and then covered again by Nirvana in the greatest coverception of musical history. Now that that's covered, let's move on to the Woman of the Decade. Louisa Ann Swain was the first woman to vote in a general election in Wyoming. This made her the greatest hipster of the decade. This was important because the 15th Amendment granted suffrage to all men but not women. So speaking of voting, let's move on to politics.
Don't you mean, speaking of minorities not being able to vote, let's talk about politics. How about you let me take over for a little while?
Sure thing.
So, the Indian Appropriations Act, enacted in 1871, made it so groups of legitimate Native Americans, such as myself, could no longer be recognized as a sovereign nation. Speaking of oppression...
Wait, are you just gonna make this all about Native Americans?
No, I was about to talk about Reconstruction.
Oh, carry on then.
So, after the Civil War, the North wanted to reconstruct the South to assist with the economic damages and to help the newly enfranchised blacks. This, however, did not work. The North split the southern states into military districts, which were closely monitored by a police force. This, however, did not stop the South from enacting sharecropping systems and black codes, which restricted the rights and movements of African Americans. Here to tell us more is Chad, with an exclusive interview.
Actually, Jack, it's me, Chris, here with an interview with former President Ulysses S. Grant. So, Grant, how about that Reconstruction?
Well, it was going well for a while until the whole Panic of 1873. To cut a long story short, my political party was taking part in a bunch of scandals and probably caused the panic. But no one can deny me my sweet beard.
But they did deny you Reconstruction.
Yes, that's true. After all the scandals, no one really wanted to hear me talk about reconstructing the South. And the Compromise of 1877 wasn't very good either. Sure, we got Rutherford B. Hayes in office, and he was a big, strong Republican, but it didn't help that we let the Democrats take over Reconstruction. We had to pull out all of our federal troops and everything, letting those donkeys run willy-nilly in the South with their Jim Crow laws and black codes.
Well, there you have it. That's been Grant on Reconstruction. Back to you, Jack.
And then I said, oh, we're back? But what is there even else to do? Social movements? I guess. Well, as we've already said, the 15th Amendment guaranteed voting rights to all men, but not to women. This was met with some opposition and was the start of some feminist movements later. There was also plenty of racial tension, being the Reconstruction era. Many groups would antagonize the newly enfranchised African Americans. The most infamous of these groups was the Ku Klux Klan. Well, that's it for Quick Lessons U.S. History.
What are you still doing here, you dirty Indian? I thought I claimed these houses mine.
Well, you weren't here, so I thought I would just... I'll start running now.
Yes. Get back here, you dirty Indian!
Okay, this is the running scene, take 2.
3.
Shut up.
Like
Get down. Get funky with it. Get down. Get funky with it.
We're not recording still.
No, can you talk about the culture of the 1870s?
Of course I can, if I remembered my line. All I need to do is name your characters, Andreas. Okay, you want to try it again?
I want to name my character.
It sure is. Hi, Tom.
Interview? Oh, son of a gun, this thing is annoying.
So, we're making another one next year?